What's up, guys? This is Smash Adams here, and today I'm going to do an update on my Dragon Ruler deck from last format. Let me tell you, with the ban list hitting this deck pretty hard, I figured I was going to fix a lot of stuff with this deck, but after I looked at it again, I just thought, you know what, I just have to add a few things and then that'll be it. But with the babies and card destruction and Super Juve being gone, sure, it was a tough loss, but you know what? You're just going to have to deal with it. I mean, it's fair, right? I mean, the deck was too OP to begin with. Um, Now, I actually like it the way it is, and let me tell you, it's pretty balanced. It's really competitive. I'm going to try and take this up to a tournament pretty soon. I'm not sure when, but I like how it's going so far. It's a 50-card format, and it runs just as well as a 40-card deck, just like my Chaos Dragon deck, which I'm taking a break from. I'm still fixing the Chaos Dragon deck, but like I said, I'm just taking some time off from it because as much as I like the deck, I'm still thinking about what to do as far as making changes and all. But let me know what you guys think of this deck. I like it in particular, and just leave some suggestions if you like. First, we got 3 blasters, standard. 3 titles, less used effect in my opinion, but it works really well with sending Wyvern and stuff like that to the graveyard and set up some good combos later on. 3 Tempests. Dragoonities are ridiculous because of this card, and I hope they don't target any of these cards next format, but there's a chance they might, but you never know. They work in any deck, but let's see what happens. 3 Redox, the monster reborn of the deck. Now for the tech choices. 1 Red Eye is really ridiculous in this deck. It's not recommended that you run him, but I run him in the main because he helps out with a lot of plays. Plus, you get a free dragon from your hand in your graveyard. It can really benefit you. If you were running a disaster dragon format, this can benefit you. You run it in just regular dragon rulers, this can benefit you. You run it in chaos dragons, definitely benefit you. Because you're setting up plays with like Pulsar Dragon, right? Same with Heretics. It's a really good card. I hope they don't hit this in the future, but unless they make something super broken that will involve Red Eyes using his effect multiple times in one turn, I doubt they're going to hit this card. But let's see what happens. You never know what's going to happen. 1 Lad to waste resources, because nowadays it's not about just spells and traps and all that. It's mainly about monster effects going off and then giving you the upper hand in duels. Even though it's good to have a good lineup of spells and traps to aid you in the process, this guy can really benefit you more because, say if your opponent were to activate like multiple stuff, sure, it will reduce its points by 500 each time, but guess what you're getting instead? Your opponent wasting stuff just for that one particular card. Plus, when it's destroyed, you get a free monster from your graveyard, depending on if it can be special summoned or not. 1 Wyvern just to set up plays with Red Eyes and Lad. It's really helpful, especially if I have Ravine on the field. This card is boss. Next, I've got 2 Exploders. I ran 3 last format, but I took out 1 for space to add some more stuff. 2 Flamvell Guards. I didn't run Flamvell Guard last time because I wanted to try some new stuff with Swift Scarecrow and all that last format. I decided to trade the Swift Scarecrow and all that for like a bunch of other cards for the new support this format, and it's really helped me out this far. I like Flamvell Guard. It's really beneficial. I've been using Blaster's effect more because of him, and plus he's has really good defense next to the Debris Dragon. Speaking of the Debris Dragon, love this card's effect, and especially to set up with the Card Trooper combo. I mean, sure, you won't get Card Trooper's attack points boosted up, but you still mill cards in the process, because that's a cost. It's a really good card. Plus, it sets up for good synchro fodder, and it's good for discarding for Card of Consonance. It's a really powerful dragon tuner if you use it right. 2-card troopers, like I said earlier, really helpful with the as a target for Debris Dragon's effect. Next to effect Veilers for negating monster effects and all. And lastly, 1 Dandylion. It's a good setup for Debris Dragon's effect. Plus, you're getting free tokens if it's sent to the graveyard, whether it's milled or whatever. You're getting this card to the graveyard and you're getting free tokens. So if you want to get some synchros in, go ahead and do that, because you have the tokens right there in the field to get rid of just for that purpose, right? So anyway, that's it for the monster lineup. Now for the spells, we've got 3 Sacred Swords. I ran 2 last format because I wanted to add more balance and stability. But even now with 3, there's still a lot of balance in this deck. You never can go wrong if you run like a certain amount of cards to make this deck consistent. It's pretty good. 3 Sacred Swords. I thought of running Yamada Dragon in there, but it's just it's a small thought, but you never know what can happen with this deck. It's really good. 3 Ravine. I thought of just playing 2, but 3 actually worked just as well. And let me tell you, this card it's awesome. You can set up really good plays. It can help get more dragons into the graveyard, so that way you can get more dragon rulers out if you want to, or if you can set up more plays with Red Eyes if he's on the field. It's this deck on its own, even with the new changes, it's ridiculous. 3 Card of Consonance, because even though I have 4 tuners for this card to target, I'm still getting like 2 cards. I mean, for the cost of just pitching 1 dragon tuner. It's a really must for this deck. I mean, not every deck runs it, but I run it in particular because it sets up good plays after I draw 2 cards. Next, we've got 2 D.D.Rs. I ran 3 before, but they were dead at times, so I took 1 out for a Gold Sarc. And overall, it's been benefiting me a lot. I just have to pitch a card to get a banished monster from my banish zone, like a dragon or something like that. Like, say if I banished Red Eyes to the banish zone, just to get Blaster to my field. All I have to do is pitch a card after I activate this, and then summon it back. And then guess what? Activate its effect again. Free level 7 dragon. So this deck is ridiculous on its own. 1 Gold Sarc. Like I said, I took 1 D.D.R out for this, and it's been benefiting me a lot. Even though this card is at 1, it's still pretty good. I mean, I'm glad the ban list is pretty balanced, because I like trying new stuff out every chance I get, every format. So I want to see how this deck goes the next time I take it to a tournament. But overall, against like friends and such, and newcomers into the game, and just trying this out every time I would go to my hangout spots and duel a couple of folks that have been to regionals and stuff like that, they said, "No, yeah, this deck is pretty good. You should keep it the way it is." And I'm still trying new stuff as I go along, but the way it is now, I like it. 1 Foolish Burial for like, say if you have Ravine and you want an extra card to go to the graveyard. Guess what? Play this, send a card to the graveyard. 1 Burial to set up plays if you want to use Dragon's Mirror and get like 3 extra dragons back to your deck, or if you want to. Say if you used Wyvern's effect to get Red Eyes back to your hand after you summon a Dragon Ruler, guess what? And if you have another Dragon Ruler to use, you can play Burial again and then send that Wyvern back to your graveyard after being sent from there to the Banish Zone. Use its effect again and then use Lad. So guess what? You're getting 2 dragons for just the price of using that. So as long as you set up the right plays, Burial from a different dimension can help you. And speaking of which, Dragon's Mirror. This card is ridiculous on its own. My friend recommended that I use this in Super Polymerization, but I decided to use this in the main deck because it's likely that I'm going to be using this card sometimes, depending on the situation I'm in. Like, say if I didn't have any other alternatives besides this, I would just play Dragon's Mirror just for the heck of it, because I'm getting a 5,000 beater that can't be destroyed by battle by earth, water, fire, wind, or darkness. So basically the only thing that can get through to 5-headed is a light monster. Like, unless you get through to me with that, there's no way in hell you're getting past me. So, that's basically what I think when I use this card. And plus, you're getting free dragons to your hand if you banish some dragon rulers during the fusion process. So, this card is pretty beneficial. I would look into it if I were you. 2 Dragoncarnations. I thought of running 1, but I figured 2 is better because I am going to be adding a lot of dragon rulers to my hand this format. 1 Castle of Dragon Souls. Ever since the Blue Eyes structure deck came out, I just thought, man, this card is really beneficial for this deck. And other decks in particular. I could try it in Chaos Dragons if I wanted to. But you play this and you banish a dragon ruler, guess what? You're not only getting a free dragon to your hand, but your monster's gaining like 700 points because of that 1 trick pony that you did. Plus, if it leaves the field when it's destroyed, you can basically special summon a dragon type monster that was banished to your field. So there are many pluses with this card. Try it out. I ran 2 before, but I figured 1 was better just for space. It never hurts to run 2 either. It's really awesome, though. 1 Dragon's Rebirth. I ran this in Chaos Dragons before, but I realized it was dead a lot in Chaos Dragons. So I figured give this a try in Dragon Rulers, and it worked out just as fine in Dragon Rulers. Because you're not only banishing a dragon, which could benefit Dragon Ruler plays and getting more dragons into your hand and such, but you're also getting a dragon from your hand or graveyard to your field. This can really help you in a battle phase situation. But try it out. It's a good tech choice. I love it. It's really awesome. I've played this multiple times, and it's helped me out in so many situations, and it's given me an upper hand a lot. Next, we've got 2 Royal Decrees. I ran 1 before when the September 1st ban was started, but I decided to add 1 more in just for the heck of it, and I just figured I'm going to be running into Imperial Iron Wall a couple of times every chance I get if I were going to mirror matches and such, but guess what? I'm going to be prepared because I have Royal Decree just sitting and waiting there in case they do. And if all else fails, and if they don't have Mind Drain in the process, guess what? Play Blaster, destroy Imperial Iron Wall, then go ham with dragons. So I have many choices available to me in this deck. This deck is basically on its own a walking arsenal if I use it right. Next, we've got 2 breakthrough skills. Last format, I didn't run any because I only had that 1. The second one was a pain to get this format because I was trading a lot of stuff just to get it. I mean, this thing alone, yeah, it's only $6. This one, the common one, but I figured with people using dragon rulers and all, I figured it's going to be tough to get breakthrough skill. But I knew eventually I was going to get the second one. But like I said, it was a pain to get, but I'm glad I have it. Really sets you up with monster effect negation, like depending on the situation. Like if you don't have effect veiler, you can always use this. And if it's in your graveyard during your turn, guess what? Banish it, negate the effect. So could I say negate Ophion and then just go ham with more dragons? And then they'll think, okay, there's not much I can do there. Because like unless you get infestation or any of that, there's a chance that I'm probably gonna do some ridiculous stuff unless you do something quick. But yeah, it's a really good card. And lastly, 1 Return from a Different Dimension. It sets up good plays. You pay half, and then you special summon as many monsters from your banish zone to the field as you want. And if you have like a lot of dragon rulers and banished, and a couple of synchros banished in the process, you can synchro, get them back to your graveyard later on, and then XC, do whatever you want to do after you do this, and then you've pretty much got a field of destruction right there. But yeah, Return from a Different Dimension is good. It might get banned. I'm not sure. I hope they don't ban it because, in my opinion, I mean, it's not likely you'll be using it a lot. But it really is a good situational card. But let's see what happens. You never know what can happen. Next for the extra deck. To start off, we've got 1 5-headed dragon. Like I explained earlier, Dragon's Mirror does help me out a lot with dragon rulers. And plus, he's really helpful in this deck. 1 Black Rose for nuking the field. Stardust for preventing destruction. I'm trying to get a Jewel Stardust if I can, but I don't know where I can get that. 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Crimson Blader. This card is hilarious. You play this, guess what? They can't do squat. Like if they were gonna go up with 5-star or higher monsters. Like say if I were running into a Monarch deck, guess what? You can summon your frogs, but you're not going to be doing anything with your Monarchs anytime soon if I attack you. So guess what? You're going to have to sit and wait. Anyway, 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Trident Dragon. I took Armory Arm out for this just to see what he can do, because he can actually perform some really good OTKs if you use his effect right. And depending on the multiple cards you destroy, he gains an extra attack. Plus he's a 3000 beater, so why not? This guy's a beaut, man. Star Eater. He's basically the Egyptian god of synchros, and with more to come, I'll bet there'll be more synchros like him at that level. And let me tell you, Star Eater is boss. You play him, and he's unaffected by effects until the end of the damage step. This guy's ridiculous. Plus, his synchro summon can't be negated. What's more fun than that? Well, not much, I'm afraid. But he's pretty good. Try him out in this deck. He's really awesome. I thought of running Formula Synchron and, whatchamacallit, Shooting Star Dragon in there, but like I said, I'm not really into, like, running what everybody runs. Like, most folks now, they run, like, plant rulers and all that. I just wanted to take a different approach with this deck and see how far it can go. I mean, I like the way it is overall, but I'm not sure if I'll make any changes as far as this is concerned. But it's great. Moving on from that, we're going to continue with the extra deck. We've got 1 Lucky Straight, 1 Gaia Dragon for piercing, 2 Draco Sacks. I took 1 out just to add more space for the Trident Dragon and all, along with the Thought Ruler and the Colossal. 1 Big Eye. I took 1 out for space, like I mentioned with the other cards. 1 Master of Blades, very good, depending on the situation that you're in. And 1 Abyss Gaios. I kept him in there because he can be very useful with negating current monster effects in the field and can set my opponent straight up for some heavy damage if I could. Plus he's a 28 beater, so he's really helpful. Now for the side deck, and this has helped me out a lot within the past few weeks. 3 Electric Virus, 2 Tsyukiomi. I ran 3, but I took 1 out for some other stuff I wanted to try. 2 Prohibitions for targeting cards and make sure that they can't be played and give my deck an upper hand in the duel in case I want to make a comeback. 2 Book of Eclipse. Like, when in doubt, if I don't have Tsyukiomi, I can always play this. Sure, the drawback is at the end of the turn, my opponent can draw a numerous amount of cards depending on the monsters that they flip face up on their field. But guess what? Say if you were, say if your opponent were to go for game with a numerous amount of monsters with heavy set attack points, I can play this during their turn, and then the end of their turn, they draw their cards, and I'll be like, okay, I can possibly make a comeback. Sure, it's not a total waste, but it's really good. Try it. I may take 1 out for a Lightning Vortex or a Gores, but I'm not too sure yet what to do. But it's helped me out so far. 2 MSTs. I took 1 out for the Super Poly. 1 Super Poly for situational purposes with DNA surgery, and then getting 5-headed dragon quickly on either my opponent's turn or my turn. If I have the right amount of cards and I set up the right plays, that is. 2 Raigeki breaks. Last format, they'd helped me out a lot, so I figured why not try them out this format. And lastly, DNA surgery. Like I said, you play this and you play DNA surgery. And if they had some stuff to play you in mirror matches like Light and Darkness Dragon, you play Super Poly, you can't go wrong with this. Say if Light and Darkness Dragon were played on their field, you play this, guess what? They can't negate this because nothing can chain this. And as long as this was activated beforehand, you can't go wrong. Try this effect. I saw one person actually top using this combo, and they were summoning 5-headed dragon like crazy, just using this and Super Polymerization. They were discarding dragons like crazy last format, and they, man, let me tell you, it was the most diabolical thing I've seen in my life. But hey, it worked. But give it a try with these two. So anyway, this has been an updated version of my Dragon Ruler deck. It worked just as well as my Chaos Dragons this format. I'm going to update that soon and post it up. So let me know what you guys think of this deck. It's, I mean, you can make some changes if you want, leave some suggestions, and take it from there. So this has been another deck profile, guys. All right, peace.